Osinachi, a beautiful young girl who had been counting down the days to her wedding with Jide, her fiancé of 2 years. Everything was perfect. The venue was booked, the guests were ready, and her wedding dress was hanging in the closet. Just waiting for her to slip into it. She was so close to what she had always dreamed of, her happily ever after. Or so she thought of. On the eve of their wedding, Osinachi decided to do the last thing to surprise Jide. She would visit him unexpectedly. It was meant to be a sweet romantic gesture, just a small moment of closeness before they would say their vows the next day. However, her unexpected visit would change everything. When Osinachi entered their shared home, she expected to find Jide preparing for their big day, maybe organizing some last-minute details. Instead, she was greeted with a sight that shattered her heart. There on their bed was Jide, naked and tangled in a bedsheet with another woman. Her name was Gina, a colleague who Osinachi had met only a few months ago, and who she had trusted. The world seemed to stop for Osinachi. The air felt thick as anger, humiliation, and heartbreak flooded her. Her mind couldn't comprehend what her eyes were seeing. The love of her life, the man she was about to marry, was in the most intimate way possible with another woman. It was a betrayal so deep that it made ground below her feel like it was crumbling. Osinachi didn't say a word. At first, she just stood there, frozen in shock. Gina quickly scrambled off the bed, clearly embarrassed, but Jide remained calm. He looked at Osinachi with eyes that were full of guilty, but also something else. Fear. He knew she had caught him, and there was no way to talk his way out of this. Osinachi, I can explain, Jide said, his voice shaking. But Osinachi didn't want to hear any explanations. What explanation could there possibly be? How could he have done this to her? They were days away from their wedding. Everything had been planned. She had trusted him with her heart, and he destroyed it. The rage inside her started to rise. She turned around and walked out, slamming the door behind her. She didn't care about his apologies or his reasoning. She was too angry, too devastated to listen. She needed to get away. Osinachi's mind was spinning as she got into her car. Every part of her screamed to go back and confront him. But the thought of seeing him again and hearing his excuse was more than she could bear. She needed space, time to process what had just happened. But as she drove away, the anger kept building. She thought of their time together, their laughter, their trips, their plans for the future. It all seemed like a lie now. Everything she thought she knew about him, about their relationship, was crumbling before her. The pain felt unbearable, and yet it was accompanied by something else, something darker. Osinachi's hand gripped the steering wheel tightly, her vision blurred by unshed tears. Her thoughts became chaotic. and she wasn't thinking clearly. She was angry, she was heartbroken, and worst of all, she felt humiliated. In her mind, she could see everyone, her family, her friends, tomorrow when they would all show up for the wedding, only to learn that everything had fallen apart. However, the roads were slicky with rain as Osinachi continued to drive, her foot heavy on the gear. Her emotion clouded her judgment. She didn't see the red light ahead. She didn't see the cars coming. As she served to avoid it, she lost control of her car, sending it spinning across the wet road. In the confusion of the moment, Osinachi's heart was racing, her mind unfocused. She didn't even feel the impact when her car collided with the tree. Her body jerked forward and everything went black. The next morning, news spread quickly about Osinachi's tragic accident. Friends and family were devastated. Jide, in a particular, was a broken man. He tried to reach her after she left, but it was too late. Now, as he stood at the hospital, learning that Osinachi had passed away, his heart was filled with regret. He realized far too late that he had lost the woman he loved, the woman who had meant everything to him. Jide sat by her hospital bed, staring at her lifeless body. How could he have been so stupid? How could he have betrayed her like that, knowing how much she had loved him? In the days following Osinachi's death, Jide became consumed by guilt. He attended her funeral, where he was confronted by her grieving family. Her mother, her father, and even her best friends were devastated by her sudden loss. They whispered about how happy Osinachi had been, how they could have been looking forward to their wedding. And now, instead of a celebration, they had to mourn her. Jide could barely hold himself together. The guilty ate at him, and he realized that his action had cost him the one person who had truly loved him. No apology, no explanation could ever bring Osinachi back. He had thrown away the best thing that ever happened to him, and it was too late to undo it. As Jide sat down alone in his apartment after the funeral, he couldn't escape the truth. The love he had for Osinachi had been real, and now that love was gone, taken from him by his own selfishness and betrayal. The anger and frustration that Osinachi had felt before her death now mirrored his own regrets. He thought about all the plans they had made. He thought about her smile, her laugh, the way she always knew how to make him feel better. Even when things were tough, he had taken it all for granted, and now he had nothing left but the haunting memory of love that would never come to be. In the end, Jide realized that Osinachi would always be the one that got away. He would never get over the fact that she had died, or because of his own betrayal. The love they had was gone, and he would have to live with that knowledge for the rest of his life. Guys, trust you find this story interesting. What moral lesson do you learn from this story? Kindly state it down on the comment section, and always subscribe to my channel at African Tales by Ifenkili like and share with family and friends. Turn on your notification button and stay tuned for more interesting and mind-blowing stories coming your way next time. Guys, remain blessed. Bye.